It's the most brutal time of the year. Hi, everyone. On today's episode, we begin Death Metal December by talking about Cause of Death by Obituary.
Man, you were a treat tonight.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Metalist Podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
We're two professional broadcasters. We like metal, and we like talking about it. And it is my favorite month of the year. It's December. And it's not my favorite month because of the holiday season.
Right.
It's not my favorite month because of the snow. It's not my favorite month because of the short days. No, it's my favorite month because this is the month where we talk exclusively about and celebrate the wonderful genre that is death metal. And we are getting started with a classic this week, Obituary's Cause of Death.
Their sophomore album.
The sophomore. I love it when people say it that way. I don't know why. It's like sophomore. Because normally people just say sophomore.
Right, two syllables.
But they completely ignore
The O.
the second O.
Yeah.
It's just sophomore instead of sophomore. I don't know why. I don't know why people ignore the second O there.
I don't know. We had a guy, actually, Les Halverson, that does color commentary for us up in Botno.
Yes.
He only pronounces it
Sophomore. I have to wonder if that's because he seems, I haven't met him, but I've listened to one of his sportscasts that we had to do. We had to do like an emergency thing that like the guy that was supposed to be doing our play-by-play that night. This was back in March. The guy that was supposed to be doing. Jim. It was late February. Yeah, Jim was supposed to be doing play-by-play. He got sick. I don't think it was COVID. It was right around the time, though, when that started here. But Jim got sick, and so we had to take Les's feed because he was at the same game.
Sure.
And we had to figure out on the fly, when he was taking breaks, because he does things a lot more loosey-goosey than Jim. Kept it nice and tight, and Les was just kind of, 30-second break. And that was my impression of Les, because he has got a very classic sort of broadcaster voice.
Well, he's 75.
Yeah, he's not a young guy.
Yeah.
But you can tell he came up in an earlier age of broadcasting.
And the ball goes to Lindsay Ellis. She's a 5'7" sophomore.
Sophomore? Why did you go with Lindsay Ellis?
I don't know.
YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, YouTuber and video essayist Lindsay
Just
Ellis.
the name that come up. I haven't even seen one of her videos in weeks.
Yeah, I don't know why
that name came up.
I don't know why you went for that as well.
I guess because I knew a basketball player in high school named Nikki Ellis, and my brain changed it to that.
You just if your brain filled it in with something that was more familiar to you. I understand. I get it. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing good. Like I said, I got a new chair.
Nice.
I'm enjoying that.
$20 chair that somebody just wanted to get rid of.
Indeed. I took it home. A lot of dust. It had some cobwebs. I think it had a little bit of mouse shit on it.
And you just sat right down.
I did not.
You cleaned it off first.
It's funny, like 15 years ago, I probably wouldn't have given a shit. But since I've been married to another person, she's sort of trained me. She's whipped me into shape a little bit. She's like, really? You're going to be that gross today?
Taught you how to be a normal human being.
Yeah, a somewhat civilized person.
a semi-civilized person.
So, because I was, as you people all know, we're working from home, doing broadcast work. So you're sitting at a desk all damn day. And I was sitting in a deck chair.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I did that for 13 hours one day.
Ass.
Yeah, ass, my back,
especially
my shoulders.
you, because you have no ass.
That's true. I look like a frog in pants, but I mean Yeah. So I got a nice new chair to sit. It's great. I feel like I have my own office now.
There you go. So where are you set up? You're in the basement,
I'm
right?
in my basement. Yeah, okay. I'm in my basement.
And the Wi-Fi is working better now?
It is, because I went and I bought a booster because the Wi-Fi is upstairs and at the other end of my house. And the only place I could have put this table was downstairs at the opposite end of that.
Yeah.
And I was getting like uploads speeds of almost unmeasurably low upload
So
speeds.
minuscule.
Yeah, so I had to go. I went over to the big box store over there with the electronics.
Yeah.
And I bought a thing that I plug into the wall, which is directly above where my desk is down there.
Yeah.
And now I have upload speeds of 2 megabytes, 2 megabits.
There you go.
Yeah.
What is good? Because I mean, like I pay for good internet.
Yeah.
But I don't really know what actually constitutes good internet. You know what I mean? What would you consider to be good upload speeds?
Well, according to Google, what I have now is good to fast.
Okay.
So I have two up, 15 down.
Okay.
I mean, that's hardly not. Most people have way more than that. But
Yeah, but it's better. It's far better than hardly anything at all.
Right.
Yeah, I guess I've never quite really measured. I've just kind of thrown money at Midco and assumed they're giving me the good stuff. And
Right.
I've had very few connection problems here. As far as like my Wi-Fi goes. And I mean, my computer's always wired in, but like I remember in my old apartment, which was also Midco, and I feel like was a very comparable plan. I had a bunch of problems where like I would, at least once a month I would have to unplug the router and plug it back in.
Sure.
I have had to do that, I think, about twice, and I've lived here for like 2.5 years.
Right. Wow. It's been 2.5 years you've been here.
Yeah, I've been here since I've lived in this apartment since May of 2018.
Man.
Yeah. Or I think I moved. Yeah, I moved in on like May 20th or something like that.
May 20th of 2018.
Yeah.
So that means, yeah. Wow. Geez.
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how long.
Man.
That's how long I've been in this apartment, and I haven't really. I've like we were talking before we started the show. Because sometimes we have like a 10-minute conversation before we decide to start the show.
Right.
But I want to get like a new desk and stuff because I've been using just plastic folding tables to put all my incredibly expensive electronics on top of for the last 2.5 years. And it's time to get like an actual good, like ergonomic sort of computer desk, especially because I'm sitting at my computer so much more these days. So I think that's going to be, I've kind of stumbled into a mission of replacing all the furniture in my computer room.
Yeah.
I have a nice computer chair already. It's just too small for me.
Sure.
I think I mentioned that.
Did it shrink? Well, why did it shrink? What happened? Is it because it's warm in the room?
The chair didn't shrink, my friend. It was too small for me to start with.
Oh, sure.
In the first place. I don't think I've actually really gained all that much weight since I moved in here. I've just sort of maintained a very kind of doughy shape. I've maintained a overweight, but not obese type of shape. So I guess I'm proud of myself. It's mostly because I eat like shit, but I also eat the exact same thing every single day. So that's why I haven't really changed size all that much.
Speaking of which, eating the same thing every day, 'tis the season.
For what?
McRib.
Oh my God. I don't know what the fuck that was. There was like a month ago or whatever, there was a story about how like McRib is going to be back for the first time since 2008. And like
you guys
my coworker came to me and was like, OJ eats that like when it comes back for like a month every year, and that's all he eats for like the whole month. I'm like, I know McRib has been back. Apparently it's like a regional thing. And so the I think what it was is the prep service that we use is based in the UK. And there are certain countries, and I think certain states in the U.S. where McRib does not come back yearly. But as far as I know, McRib has come back yearly in North Dakota for quite some time. Mm-hmm. Or at the very least, at the McDonald's in Minot, there's been McRib. I know that because I've known you for 2.5 years.
I'll show up with 2 at a time.
It's the season of McRib.
It's not. I mean, some people look forward to Christmas, birthdays, McRib.
Yeah, but for you, it's McRib.
It's not on the menu.
2 holidays.
2 holidays.
So it's not on the menu, but you can order it.
They have it. In fact, I went up and I didn't see it, so I tried to be polite and say, excuse me, sir, I'm looking at your menu. It looks like, do you not have the McRib yet? He says, no, we haven't.
We have the McRib. Maybe they couldn't get very many McRibs, and so they're trying to hide the fact that they have McRib so they don't run out. And then they have to have the conversation of like, sorry, we're out of McRib. They're rationing McRib.
Those are the saddest words I hear every year.
We're out of McRib.
Sorry, we're out of McRib.
That is pretty sad, I imagine.
Yeah.
Speaking, I was mentioning getting new furniture. I already have some new furniture.
Yeah.
I have a proper big boy table.
You do?
Well, I already had a proper big boy table, but that table's in here and it has microphones screwed into it.
Right.
So I don't really eat at that table. But I have a kitchen table that my parents have had, I think, since they got married.
Did they get a new table?
Yeah, they got a new table. They also got a new couch and whatnot. They got a whole bunch of new furniture.
Nice.
And they got a new kitchen table. And so they gave me the old one. It has 2 leaves that you can put into it to make it larger and longer. And I think someday when, there's not a pandemic going on, and if I decide to host a D&D game, it will be very good for that purpose because I can make it bigger. I can make it bigger
and longer.
I can make it longer.
Can you make it
I can
thicker?
make that hardwood longer. I can't make it thicker, unfortunately. That's not the way that the leaves work. The expanders.
Oh, you're not talking about dicks.
No, I'm not talking. I'm still talking about the table.
Still talking about the table. Gotcha.
But so that'll be fun. I will need to get dice trays.
Yeah.
For that, or make dice trays because since it is made of hardwood, any dice rolled on that will bounce up and go to the moon.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose dice underneath my oven.
Unless you're using metal dice.
Yeah, in which case that will also horribly scuff the table.
Yeah, so it's lose-lose. You gotta have
so dice tray.
Or dice towers.
Yeah. Well, I have a dice tower. I think I could probably just make dice trays out of fucking cardboard. If I wanted to, like, just get some thicker cardboard.
Sure.
And get a hot glue gun and bam, you got a dice tray.
Shoebox.
Buy some felt. Or a shoebox that works perfectly too.
Yeah.
Maybe cut it down so it's not quite so tall. So it's easier to see. You don't have to like reach over and into it. But yeah, that'll be great. I mean, I'm actually eating at a proper table when I eat lunch.
Nice.
Which, like, before, I could have ate at when I actually had the table in here,
right,
in my kitchen. I could have ate at it, but I didn't want to because I wanted to be watching TV, and my TV is not in a good position. But now, I mean, most of the TV I'm watching is on YouTube,
right?
And so I have a laptop that I can just pop open.
Did you get my text last night, by the way?
Yes.
James May has a cooking show.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I did get that. I don't remember why I didn't respond, but it would. Yeah, no, I scrolled past it on Amazon. I didn't click on it because I felt like watching something else. But I mean, it's James May doing a specialty series.
Yeah,
it's going to be
anything,
great.
Yeah. What's really great is
I could watch him. I have watched him do pretty much anything. James May explores Japan. James May assembles Legos. Yeah. James May takes apart a guitar. Like, that's the nature of his shows. Is it's just him doing something methodical and narrating it in a way that is almost always humorous and bizarrely comforting. He's wonderful.
Yeah, he keeps a home economist in the pantry. She just stands in the pantry behind the door until he, Carrie,
What do you think?
What do you think? Taste this. Well, you burnt it. It's not burnt. It's well done.
Oh, cock. It's his favorite expletive.
And then every other like shot in this cooking show is him pouring drinks.
Oh yeah, no. There was an episode. I think it was like Gordon Ramsay's F Word or something like that. It was on BBC where it was kind of like Gordon Ramsay doing sort of a food-based variety show where they could just kind of do anything. But he was having a competition to make a better, it was like some sort of pie or casserole.
Yeah.
And they were going to give it to someone in this restaurant, and they would tell, it was just like a normal person. But like whose was better. James May spent the whole time, not the whole time, obviously, but like he just kind of didn't put a lot of effort into making it and drank like 2 bottles of wine. And they liked his better. And Gordon Ramsay's reaction to that was so fucking perfect. Just like, are you fucking kidding me? He just got drunk and hardly put any work into it. And you like that one better? Speaking of favorite expletives, I've continued to watch Taskmaster.
Wow.
And there's a British comedian named Nish Kumar who was on one of the seasons, and he had his catchphrase throughout the season. Whenever something would go horribly wrong with one of his tasks, he would go, "Piss and shit."
That's great.
I think it's wonderful. It's a wonderful phrase. I don't know. I love it. It's great.
Piss and shit.
It's just there's something about it that I really, really like. It's fun. We didn't mention this on the podcast last week, but we were talking about it beforehand. There's a cat that was outside, roaming around outside my apartment building. It was a little kitten. Well, not a kitten. It was between a cat and a kitten. It was like 6 months old.
Sure.
It was very friendly, very cuddly. It was a little wary at first, but it was outside, and a stranger was there. But I eventually got it to come up to me, and I called animal control to have it picked up. And I called animal control yesterday because I wanted to follow up, and I also wanted to make sure that the cat, didn't have some horrifying disease and, had to be put down or something like that. And also make sure that I didn't have to go to the hospital to get a rabies vaccine or something.
I almost thought you were going to say make sure I didn't have to be put down.
No, but I just wanted to make sure that the cat was doing okay.
It's okay, Gail. Sleep. Just sleep.
Jesus. But I called animal control, and they handed it off to Hairball Haven last night. So
nice.
If you are in the Minot area and you're looking to adopt a little kitty, there should be one showing up. I was looking at the Facebook page today to see if the kitty was there.
Those are all at Pet Parade, right? Or whatever?
I think so. I don't know, actually. If they are at Pet Parade, then that cat is very close by. It's literally just up the street. I mean, and it's also very close to where the cat was found in the first place. Right. So,
and it's very close to the Humane Society as well. I mean, you're just across the highway. So.
Yeah. Well, and Core is right there too. Sure. There's a animal clinic,
right?
Literally right next door to where we are. So if you're in the Minot, North Dakota area and looking to adopt a kitty, I know for a fact that is a very friendly cat. I should have asked. I didn't ask the lady from animal control just what the hell was going on with its tail, because it had a weird lump on its tail. I don't know if that was just like matted fur that had something stuck to it, or if it had some sort of lesion or something like that. But it's adorable. It's got little white mittens. It's all gray, but it's got these little white mittens on the tips of its paws, and it's got a white stripe on its belly. And
are you sure Zima doesn't need a little sister? Or
I don't think she. I don't really know if she would do all that well with another cat. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, she had kittens, but it's like another full-grown cat. I don't know if she would respond all that well. At the very least, in the her profile before I adopted her said she would probably do best in a home without other pets. So I've just kind of ran with that. I don't know, because there was a lot of animals in her foster home. Her foster mom seemed a little overwhelmed. But I have just kind of run with that Zima probably does best without having other pets around. So I don't know. Maybe she would appreciate having another cat. But I know, at least for my part, it's more rent. It's more on my rent every month. I think I have to make another deposit.
Oh, wow.
It's financially not super great.
Sure. Well, I know that right now too, 'cause we have 3 cats.
Yeah.
And now 2 of them have some come down with some sort of allergy to hard food.
Oh,
so
boy.
now we're buying soft food.
Oh, God.
Which that's like $1,000 a week.
Yeah, that's not cheap.
Right. And
maybe
and that stuff smells great.
Yeah. Well, maybe see if you can, when you just have meat for dinner, just, throw it into the blender after you're done with it.
I do that anyway.
Oh, okay. And then you drink it.
Yeah.
You drink the leftovers.
I love a nice pork shake. Who doesn't?
On that gruesome image, let's get to something that's gruesome but awesome. Which is Obituary's Cause of Death.
It's arguably their best album.
A lot of people seem to think that. I'm not super familiar with Obituary. They're of a generation of death metal bands that I think I need to get more familiar with. I couldn't help while listening to this thinking of how much it reminded me of Death, but I think that's simply because that was the state of death metal in 1990. Is most death metal bands sounded like Death because Death was the first death metal band,
and they were both Florida bands.
Yeah, they're both from Florida originally.
Yeah,
Obituary has stuck around in Florida.
Right.
Death started I think Death technically started in LA, was in Florida for a bit, and then even before Scream Bloody Gore came out, they moved back to California, I think. But people still call it Florida death metal because I think Chuck was originally from there.
Yeah, he was originally from Florida. Yeah, and Death did have its home in Florida for a while.
Yeah. I couldn't quite help but think of that while listening to it. But I think that's a very favorable comparison because Death is amazing, and also these guys sound fucking great.
And also, the lead guitar player on this album,
yes,
on this same year,
is it James Murphy?
James Murphy was the lead guitar on Spiritual Healing.
Yeah,
came in the same year.
I mean, hey, when you do something well,
yeah,
you keep on doing it.
Get paid to keep doing it. Yeah.
Yep. And he's not the only alumnus of Death that has played with Obituary. Steve DiGiorgio has played several live shows with them in their most recent run at things since they got back together in the mid 2000s. That was my printer turning off. But my goodness, this is a very good album. I think mostly because I was listening to it. I listened to this a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But I listened to it while I was doing other things every time, and so nothing really sticks out to me.
Really,
unfortunately, it all is just kind of a miasma of awesomeness.
I love the guitar tone.
Yeah, the guitar tone is great. This is it has to be an HM2, right?
It sounds like it might be, yeah.
It's a very gnarly electric chainsaw type sound. Sort of depending on the song. There's a couple of songs where that the guitar tone is a little warmer and a little fuzzier.
Like on the title cut. It's a little, yeah.
But then I think the last song on the album is really clear tone from the pedal.
Yeah.
And it's fucking gnarly sounding without sounding too digitized, because that's a problem I have with the first Bloodbath album.
Really?
Is the first Bloodbath album, the production, at least in my opinion, is fucking awful. And it sounds like the guitar had, an amp with no settings on it, going straight into an HM2 that was cranked all the way up. The guitar tone on the first Bloodbath album is fucking atrocious.
Really?
I hate it. Their sound gets much better after that, but I feel like the first Bloodbath album was also just really slapped together, and it was just a thing that like Michael Acker felt, and I don't remember the other.
What year was that?
This was like 2005.
Really?
I think Bloodbath basically started as a Opeth side project.
Sure.
Of them being like, hey, let's make a band that's like all the death metal bands we listened to when we were younger. And then eventually Michael got kind of bored with it. But the rest of the band was like, let's keep doing this. People seem to like this. And so they did. But yeah, the guitar tone on this is fucking gnarly. It's very classic death metal sound.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where like if someone asked me like, what is a classic death metal album? Mm-hmm. And also you can't choose death. Yeah. You can't choose anything by death.
Sure.
I would choose this because to me, like, it's also easy to choose like an early Cannibal Corpse record. But to me, Cannibal Corpse is kind of like a second wave band.
Right.
In the sense that like Obituary sort of precludes the use of like really low guttural death growls.
Sure.
And that's sort of what Chris Barnes kind of got known for. And Suffocation, I think in 91 was Effigy of the Forgotten, I think came out in 91 or maybe it was 93. But that one was also one of the ones that used like really low guttural death growls. And before that, it was kind of most of it was pretty mid-range stuff.
Right.
That's what Chuck Schuldiner did originally, and his vocals got higher as the band went on.
Whereas John's don't really change a whole lot.
Yeah, they don't change. I also get a kick out of the fact that two members of the band are the Tardy brothers.
Yeah, John and Donald Tardy.
I don't know why. I get a little kick out of that. I wonder if they've had a problem. I wonder if they've had a problem with, arriving to venues on time.
Right. Well, you know what happened in high school. At some point, one of them walks into class 2 minutes late. You're tardy. And they're like,
yes, we are. Yeah. I mean, you got to have fun with that, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. When you have a name like that, you got to have fun with it. So this album slaps the fucking shit.
Yes, it does.
It slaps the hell out of
it certainly does. Especially the track on there that pays homage to the greatest band of
gonna say it.
The recording era.
You're gonna say it.
Celtic Frost.
You surprised me.
What?
You pronounced it even worse than normal. But yeah, what is it?
Churchill of the Tyrants.
God damn it. Yeah, so I didn't recognize that to start off with. That was a Celtic Frost song. I don't give a shit how the band pronounces it. Yeah, I didn't recognize that, but I wouldn't because I mean we've been over this. I don't really like Celtic Frost all that much.
Right.
But I thought that was just a good track.
It is a good track. Yeah.
Something that I noticed also that sort of puts this band as being a first wave death metal band to me is that there's not a lot of blast beats in this.
No, there's not.
Most of the drumming is not nearly as furious as I have come to expect from a lot of the death metal that I've listened to.
Right.
The drumming is a bit more traditional or a bit more like
thrash metal.
Yeah, it's more like thrash metal drumming than it is what you consider death metal drumming today, which is a lot of blast beats and gravity rolls and lots of very fast and very showy stuff going on. Of course, me, having listened to so much Cattle Decapitation, Dave McGraw's drumming is so different from what you hear on this album because his drumming is all just fucking blast beats and going 8,000 miles an hour. The man's like a human AK-47. It's not like he doesn't do anything particularly special with his drumming. He's just really fast and really precise.
Right.
Like the time signatures aren't all that wacky or weird. It's just like a machine gun. It's awesome to watch.
And listen to.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I couldn't really find a reliable score. All Music gave it, like, I couldn't find other reviews for it. I think partially because this is an older death metal album that's not like, a lot of death metal fans consider this to be a classic, but if you're not necessarily a devoted death metal fan, most of like the older albums of this generation that are going to get attention in retrospect is Death.
Right.
Death, you know, if anyone's going to go back and review albums of this era, they're going to go with Death instead of Obituary, which is kind of a shame because I think this deserves a bit more attention. All Music gave it, I think it was a 3.5 or 4 out of 5, which really? I think was a little low. I mean, it's still a positive score, but sure. I think I also don't like scoring out of 5. I think
that's weird.
It's too low, not precise enough for me.
How many stars out of 2?
Yeah. What really chaps my ass is when people rate things out of 7. That's fucking useless. I think partially because that's a meme. Essentially, it became a meme like I give this a 5 out of 7 because it's, I don't know why. It's, some people do that.
Sure. Make it out of 10.
Yeah, make it a percentile.
Right.
I like when things are rated on a percent scale. Quality out of 100 makes more sense to me.
Our number system is 10 based.
Yes. We're not the Forerunners from Halo. Our number system is not 7 based. Although that was written in as a joke because Bungie had a thing for putting references to the number 7 and literally everything for some fucking reason. It was just like, it was their Easter egg thing of just like, hey, this gun or this model of ship or something needs a number appended to the end of it.
Yeah.
Let's make it a multiple of 7.
Sure.
They would just do that for all their stuff as just like a little Easter egg thing. If you find all the references to the number 7, you get a free Mountain Dew or something. I don't know.
A pizza party.
You get a pizza party, Mountain Dew, and Domino's. God damn it. I wanted Papa John's because that's somehow considered better. Like, okay, I will admit Domino's is not particularly good pizza.
But Papa John's.
Papa John's is also not, like, none of the popular chains really actually have good pizza.
I will eat them. You know what? I grew up on Pizza Hut.
I never really had all that much Pizza Hut.
Really?
But like I will, if I'm going to order a pizza, I guess I'll go with Papa John's because there's only so many that do delivery in town. I should really order from Night Train more often.
Night Train is fantastic.
Night Train is good delivery pizza.
My teenager at home was trying to make homemade shells and cheese with bacon and broccoli for dinner.
Yeah.
Because they learned it in home ec. And so screwed it up like 3 times till we ran out of cheese. So her mom gets on the phone and says, calls Night Train.
Yeah.
That's the day after dinner.
It's just pizza.
Pizza.
You fucked it up. We're getting pizza.
Yeah.
Often I will also, well, not often, I guess, but I'm also quite fond of Little Caesars. Just because, I mean, for being $5.
Sure.
That's some good shit for $5.
If it was a $15 pizza,
no, that's not worth it.
No, but $5?
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah.
Wow. We need to call headquarters there at Little Caesars. They needed to change it to that. The $5 fuck yeah.
Also, Crazy Bread.
Crazy Bread is fantastic.
You got to get the fucking Crazy Bread.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. We've been going on about pizza for a while.
I thought you were going to turn into Don Corleone for a moment. You want to get the pizza bread.
You got to get the Crazy Bread when you get the pizza. I don't have a very good... I don't have a good... I got to turn my face in the... In the... I forgot the actor's name. Oh, God. What's his name?
Marlon Brando.
I gotta turn my face into Marlon Brando. He got very jowly as he got older.
Yes, he did.
I don't have a good Marlon Brando impression. I probably just need to watch more things with Marlon Brando in it.
At some point tonight, watch Island of Dr. Moreau.
At some point tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had plans, but fuck it. I guess I'm watching. Also, out of every Marlon Brando movie, why did you say The Island of Dr. Moreau, the famously awful movie?
Val Kilmer's in it.
Yes, because everybody knows if Val Kilmer's in a movie,
He was the best Batman.
that automatically means it's good. Val Kilmer's the most forgettable Batman. I don't think there's anything wrong with Val Kilmer's Batman. It's just the fact that, like, okay, you know, Keaton. I almost said Diane Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Jesus.
I want to see Diane Keaton as Batman.
Like Michael Keaton, you know, a lot of people's first Batman on like the big screen that people know, gets a lot of attention for that. George Clooney gets a lot of attention for having been in the worst Batman movie.
Sure.
Christian Bale, of course, gets the attention for being in the, you know, the artsy,
the critically acclaimed,
critically acclaimed.
Critically acclaimed. They were in Japan.
Oh God! But you know, being in the critically acclaimed Batman films, and then poor butt chin,
Affleck,
Boston butt chin, Ben Affleck. Has the unfortunate distinction of having been in some Zack Snyder movies.
Sure.
So I think he would have been so amazing if, you know, everything else about the films had been better.
I have to say, for the record, I have never seen a movie where Ben Affleck was Batman.
Yeah, he did good. I thought he did good. I just think the core, the writing, the way that Batman was written, was not particularly good because he's just killing all kinds of people.
Sure.
And to me, that ain't Batman.
No.
Like brutally beat the shit out of people, sure, but like
killing people,
that ain't Batman to me. But I'm also incredibly excited to see. Oh no, I'm just blanking on names tonight. I have to say Edward Cullen from Twilight.
Oh yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, from Harry Potter. Pattinson, right?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
I'm so excited for Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Yeah, because Robert Pattinson just has that look about him, like
he always looks like he's not had any sleep because he's been up at night beating the shit out of criminals. He's got the sleep deprived look. He looks rich. I mean, he is rich, but he's always looked kind of like a rich kid. Yeah, he's always kind of looked like a rich kid.
Yeah.
But he's also such an amazing actor. So I'm really excited for that. We went on another big tangent there.
But you are right. Anytime
Batman.
You talk about Val Kilmer's Batman, it lists the response, oh yeah.
I forgot Val Kilmer was Batman. It's people just forget about him. But Val Kilmer is a very good actor. It's just a very forgettable Batman. Because the most memorable thing about was he in 2 movies? He was only in 1.
Well, he was only in 1 Batman
The most
movie. Memorable.
The most God, yeah.
Memorable.
The most memorable thing about his movie was Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Sure.
That was by far the most memorable thing about
Was
his
that the
movie.
one with Val Kilmer?
Yep. That was by far the most memorable part of the film, instead of Batman himself.
Sure.
In any case, we're going to stop talking about
Obituary.
Batman and instead talk about something that kind of sounds like maybe Batman's singing it. Because Death Growls.
Yeah.
Batman has always got a gravelly voice.
Sure.
What is your favorite song in this? I mentioned earlier that I can't really delineate between the songs in my mind. So I'll let you go first. There is something that sticks out in my head because it's very different from the rest of the tracks.
I mean, the opening track is awesome, chopped in half, and like I say, they're homage to the most wonderful band ever formed to record any music ever, Celtic Frost.
See, I thought you were gonna fuck up Frost on that.
Mark Probst.
So I think that the song that sticks out to me the most is "Find the Arise."
You know what I love about that song?
What?
The beginning moments, because it does that loud lightning strike, and then John Tardy's reaction is to go yow.
Yeah,
this is what it sounds like. He's been startled by something.
Also, the vocals are also so much higher pitched than every other song, so it stuck out to me of like, oh, this is different. And there's like one verse, and then the rest of it is just like guitar solo.
Yeah,
it's fucking awesome. So I guess "Find the Arise" is my favorite song, mostly because it's the one that I remember the most about.
Right.
Which is not to say that the rest of this is forgettable. It's just that I was doing other things. I wasn't really paying too much attention to what song was what, and it's all at, I think, a very even level of awesome. It's all at a very even level of being heavy and brutal and cool. This is a very enjoyable album. Nothing about this bothered me in any way. I think if that were the case, I wouldn't have listened to it like 4 times.
Right.
But
check out Slowly We Rot as well. It's their debut album, the one before this. I had that one on cassette. This is the first Obituary album I bought on CD.
And so, let's talk about you, because we like to do this in your episodes.
Sure.
Because you always have tales and stories.
Sure.
So you getting into Obituary, how was that working out?
My friend Scott was this crazy dude I knew that lives on a reservation in Montana now. He found Slowly We Rot on cassette. He's, what the fuck is this? And we listened to it, and we had to turn it up really loud. Yeah. And then we found out, hey, they have a new album out. This was the new album. I bought that on CD.
Nice.
And I played it in my Chevy Vega. Really, really, really loud.
Oh my God.
Because my friend Doug built a pressboard speaker box by hand that we put 6x9s and a big subwoofer and a couple of tweeters in and stuck in the hatch of my car, and it made the windows rattle. And
nice.
And this album did that a number of times.
So were you very into death metal at that point, or
I just loved metal.
Okay.
I just really loved anything metal. If you handed it to me, I'm like, yes. I mean, I could listen to this, or I could listen to, Motley Crue. Or,
there wasn't really much of a difference to you.
No, I was like, can it be loud? Yes.
Well, okay. Because there's some people.
Yeah.
Because I'm very sort of fluid, I guess, with what metal genres I like to listen to. But there's some people who only like thrash metal. They like a lot of thrash metal bands, but there are some people who only like thrash metal, or people who only like doom metal, or they only like doom metal that doesn't have any growled vocals in it. Like
very specific.
There's a large contingent of metalheads who don't like growled or screamed vocals.
Right.
And that's weird to me as someone who's listened to music with growled and screamed vocals in it for a long time.
Yeah, see, when I was in my formative years listening to metal, thrash metal was the top. It was the pinnacle.
It was the metal.
It was the metal.
There were 2 kinds of metal. There was heavy metal and there was thrash metal.
Yeah.
That was basically it. And then there was like a couple doom metal bands. Like that was kind of it.
Right. And then death metal came on. I guess I really didn't hear too much death metal until I moved back to America.
Yeah.
It was like this and Napalm Death and Death.
Yeah.
And
I think Possessed, I guess.
Yeah, man, they're considered death metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, anyhow.
Morbid Angel. Yeah.
I don't know what that. It was a spooky ghost. Oh, scary. So what medal are you bestowing upon this, like Maskanata to Chewbacca?
I do feel like this deserves a gold medal.
I want to agree with you. I think. I think I will say it deserves a gold. I think I will give it a silver for the simple fact that
it didn't catch you.
Yeah, it didn't really catch me or move me all that much. I think it deserves better from me. It's too good. You're too good for me, Obituary. I don't know why you're too good for me, Obituary. I'm Patrick Starr. You ate my only food. Now I'm gonna starve. Anyway, So next week, I already discussed this with you earlier today. Next week, we're going to be talking about the latest full-length album from the Canadian death metal band Gorguts. The very first Death Metal December that I did with Jaron, I forced Obscura on him and myself because I hadn't really listened to it before then.
Sure.
And I think Obscura is kind of the death metal equivalent of taking acid in the sense that your brain chemistry is never quite the same again.
It's a Jackson Pollock painting put to metal.
Obscura is a technical masterpiece of avant-garde metal, and it hurts. It hurts my brain and my ears to listen to. Not as much as it used to, but it's still so abrasive and just so atonal and so difficult to listen to. Colored Sands, on the other hand, which is their newest album, they haven't put out a full-length album since 2013, by the way.
Really?
I think they've been working on certain things, and they've been doing a lot of touring. Not this year, obviously, but
right. But Comic Sans is their last album that they
Comic
did.
Sans. Colored Sands is technical and weird and progressive, while also being far more listenable than Obscura ever was. So I'm excited to talk about that next week. I like Gorguts. I should listen to them more. So I'm forcing myself to, which is sometimes what you got to do. But they also have I think in 2016 they put out as like a 28-minute long track called Pleiades Dust, and that's fucking mind bending too. But again, in a more pleasant and listenable way than Obscura. Obscura is just, 50 minutes of
so it's all a cappella.
Yeah. It's just Luke LeMay making noises for 50 minutes. That's actually the demo tracks. That was all the demo tracks for Obscura, and they're like, well, I guess we could make this into death metal. But yeah, Gorguts next week.
Okay.
I'm excited. Till we get to our next episode, you can find our social media page on Twitter, Facebook. We post links to new episodes there and not really much else.
We're not very social.
Yeah, we're not very sociable people. So we just kind of like to. That's why we're broadcasters. That's why we're radio broadcasters.
And not MCs.
So we can talk and have our words be heard by thousands of people and not have to see any of them.
I don't know how many times I've had the conversation with somebody who said, hey, can you come MC my event, or you want the mic? And it's like, I am a broadcaster. I am not good at talking to people.
I'm good at talking to myself with a piece of black metal in front of me. Oh my God.
That would be awesome.
It's fucking, you just have that's how broadcasting works, is you just have a Mayhem vinyl in front of you.
And you talk into it.
And you talk into it. And hope the spirit of Euronymous hears your words.
That's me with the head wound.
But thank you all very much for listening to another episode of the Bronze Metalist Podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ. Congratulations.
Can noise.
Very quiet
We're
can noise.
drinking Coors Banquet tonight.
We are.
Because I'm lazy.